Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Pre-owned boats, new boats, best brands of boats on the water. They've got them all at Madisonville Marine. It's one-stop shopping when you go down there. From deck boats to fishing boats to pontoons, you can see them all on one lot, under one roof, or at one website, madmarine.com. Most dealers that carry this boat or that boat, not at Madisonville Marine, they carry them all. For 45 years, Steve Sloan and Joe Special have overseen the best place to buy a boat in East Tennessee, and that's where you need to get to, Madisonville Marine. All right, I have mentioned on this show a couple of times this winter that it's going to be an interesting experiment this first year to see how we, on a show like this, how fans like you grade Tennessee's defense because of what it's going to be up against. And I'm not talking about the roster issues. I'm talking about the fact that you have an offensive coach who wants to run 3 plays per minute. Well, that can leave your defense hanging out to dry, as we all know, and as you would certainly know. So my question is, how is a former Vol defender going to look at this defense? I mean, their goal is to steal possessions, sacks, turnovers, but at the same time, if Tennessee's winning 49-42, you do a show like this, you talk about, well, they won, but, or they lost, but this was good, or they won, but this was bad. It's going to be hard not to say the defense is bad, even though they gave up 42 points. They may not have played bad, considering. Are you going to set this up on a curve? How are you going to judge the defense this year?
Yeah, I think you have to set it up on a curve. You have to look at how long they're getting kept out in the field, and do they do some of those things that get you off the field? Do they get some turnovers? I mean, for the key for this defense to work with this type of offense is how many turnovers. Do you win turnover battle over the season? Do you take more away than you lose? That's going to be a key stat. The other thing, though, just to compare from last year to this coming year, last year what I thought was the most frustrating thing about watching this defense under Pruitt, who's supposed to be a defensive guru, is the number of times you have guys right before the snap that still don't know what they're doing, right? They're still moving around. They're still going, that's you, that's you, that's you. And the ball gets snapped, and they're halfway in between where they should be and where they're supposed to be. And so that's a big area that, no matter what your system is, you can say, what can my guys capable of learning to play that game? And I can narrow it to that and keep them out there being fast and reactive and not thinking and not knowing what to do. That's an easy thing to do that any coaching staff can teach a group to do, because it is this: you simplify. I'd rather run base cover 2, same play 20 times in a row, and tell my guys go line up and play that, than run 28 different plays and have these guys bounce around, because that's how you make mistakes. The other thing is close the gaps and weaknesses. There are going to be things in game 1 that somebody finds out that they're going to try in game 2, that they're going to try in game 3. Get better at those. Don't have quick slants be something that any team that year can say, guess what, guys, if we need a first down, we're going to call a quick slant, because this team hasn't stopped it in the season. Yeah. And so just taking away those things of saying, where's that gap, take it away. Don't have guys busting plays because they're thinking and don't know what to do. Those are the simple errors that you can do. And I think, understanding this coaching staff of saying that with this new group of, we got to get guys in the field playing fast, don't give them too much.
It's going to be interesting for fans especially, because we all watch our own team more closely. You can sit and watch every SEC game, but you don't have money in it. You don't care. Yeah. Alabama's defense gets thrown on you. Wow, they look bad. Tennessee's defense gets thrown on. I'm sick of this coaching staff. They don't know what to do. That's just what we do. That's what fans do. But take a look at these numbers. This will tell you how much the game has changed. From 2010 to 2020. In 2010, the average SEC defense, gave up about 27 points a game. And this is against SEC foes only, okay? So I took out the non-conference. Last year, the average SEC defense gave up a field goal more, 30. So in 10 years, it went up a field goal. Yards per game, the average, imagine your 98 defense. 414 yards per game allowed was the average last year. So, and then you take in a Tennessee defense that's going to be trying to find new guys to plug into a lot of holes and dealing with the up and down system that's going to leave them hung out to dry. I just think it's going to be a getting used to period that we in the media and certainly fans are going to have to understand and accept a little bit that this, if you like defensive football and the 1998 team, forget it, that ain't this.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be this.
And I think everybody has to take a game plan from what the Bucs did against the Chiefs. You have to have pass rush. There is no other thing.
That the Chiefs had 2 tackles out.
Right.
But yes. Yeah.
But I'm saying you have to have that. In recruiting, I think that's going to become as important as quarterback is on the offense. If you don't have that, your defense almost doesn't exist in this day and age. So they have got to find, where do we get that from this year to have any kind of chance?
That's a good lead into the next segment. Let's talk about based on positional needs, and we'll get Vince and David involved in this too. Based on positional needs, if you could pick one player on this team to have an all-SEC type breakout year, who would it be? And I'm not counting quarterbacks, but I wonder if you're going to go with a pass rusher. We'll see. Come on back on the Sports Source.